So, my word about the link between Jesus' birth and this year of COVID, this is a word that came to mind and has stayed with my mind, and it is steady. Jesus' parents experienced a lot of turmoil and things not going right. The world happens, and it's not something that we can prevent or stop. But they stayed steady in God's plan for them. Jesus was coming. God had set that in motion, and that happened. It came into the world, in the stable, and people after them, and all. And in COVID, we can't help that there's been shutdowns and all of these things happening around us. But God's plan is to keep with that faith that Father Hurley talked about. And for me, the word that comes to mind is stay steady. Things are going to happen, but just to stay steady.
And my word is blessed and blessing. You know, as the COVID virus escalated, we had to do without a lot of things that we had to take for granted. And for instance, we discontinued having Mass in person. We went virtual. Well, I think this virus that caused that to happen got us to get on the technology bandwagon. And so there's so many people that just absolutely can't physically attend Mass, but they can watch it on TV. And now that we're doing that, there's so many people in our faith community that's now watching and attending Mass virtually now, and they didn't have that opportunity before COVID. So they're a blessing. Also for me, when we shut it down and had to attend Mass virtually, I realized just how much I miss my faith community. I've been in the parish for a long, long time, and I've watched so many people have children grow up and them have children. And I enjoy them. They're part of my family now, and I miss them. And the time that we have to catch up with what's going on, as busy as we are, is during Mass and on Sundays, and having church events and things that go on that we come together. And that's been discontinued. So when we open Mass back up, even though it's been by registration, at least I get a little bit more of that community. Still not quite like it was, but it's so much more. And that community is so important to share our faith with each other. The other thing, obviously, is Eucharist. And that taken away from us was so important that we receive Him physically into our bodies. And that's such a special time for me. And so now, something that I might have taken a little bit more for granted, I have the opportunity now to receive it now, and in more thanksgiving, and realizing just how blessed I am to receive. Also, recently, my mother-in-law that we are very close to was in a nursing home. And when this virus hit, obviously, they shut the doors. You can't go in. You can't feel them. You can't touch them. You can talk to them on the phone. But that's not quite the same. And even especially for me, who 2 years ago, I lost my mother. And the opportunity to give her a hug and tell her that I love her to her face is so important. And it's important for me to do that with my mother-in-law. She's my remaining mother. And I know I see some of the suffering that Melinda's going through right now, not being able to hold her and touch her and feel the closeness of her there. And as a matter of fact, when we went home last weekend, the nurse kind of opened the door and we snuck in for a second and gave her a big hug and a kiss and got back out real quick. But the feeling was so great. And that blessing of having family that love us, that we're a part of, we miss it when they're not there. And this virus has just taken that away, but we realize just how important that is. Another thing that I've been blessed with is that, if you can believe it, auto parts and selling auto parts is essential. And so I haven't missed a day. And as a result, the financial burdens that other people are experiencing, I haven't. Melinda is a nurse, so she's done the same thing. She's essential, and she hasn't missed any. But what we see is that we haven't missed any income. None. We haven't experienced any of the pain. But we can see the pain and the suffering, and so I think I've opened my heart more to giving. I know I'm much more generous with tips, and I never was real bad about that, but I think I'm even maybe over the top a little bit more. I think my giving to charity has improved because I see the pain and the suffering and the wants that people have, and they can't do anything about it. So it's our responsibility, my responsibility, to do what I can to ease their suffering a little bit through the blessings that the good Lord has given us. Yes, I have definitely been blessed. And after just recently celebrating the joy of the birth of Jesus and the gifts and blessings that he gives us, and the experience of love with my family and my faith community, even while dealing with this pandemic, we experience those blessings and we take them for granted. But I think the pandemic has given us reason to reflect on those things. Yes, we are overwhelmingly joyful for the season and the blessings by the gift of the birth of God's Son, Jesus Christ. So, in summary, the blessings that we've all received, the fact that we have our church family, the fact that we have our family and the people that are around, the fact that we're able to live and love and continue to work and not be suffering, we are so blessed. And we need to share that blessings and the love with other people that are less fortunate. And I can feel that even more so now. We are so blessed. Thank you.